Well, thank you so much for being here with me once again on another episode of A Legacy of Love, Un Legado de Amor. And today I have the honor and the privilege of having this amazing lady called Victoria. Hi, Victoria. How are you doing today? Thank you for being here with me today.
Thank you for having me. I'm doing very well today.
Oh,
It's
I could tell. I
a
just could
great
tell how
day.
you're shining and you're looking fantastic. Well, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, currently I own an equestrian center in Manitoba, Canada, but my passion is training racehorses at Assiniboia Downs Racetrack, which is just outside of Winnipeg. But it has not always been this way. When I was a toddler, I remember hearing the doctors tell my family that I would never amount to anything, that it would take me 2 years to do every 3 years of school. I would never graduate from high school, and they should have no expectations of me.
Did you
And
ever
that was,
reach those goals? Did you ever finish high school? Did you ever fulfill those things that they said that you would never?
I graduated from high school and I also graduated from university with 2 degrees as a student of distinction in 1996.
Wow. So everything that they had told you, the never, and she couldn't, and she wouldn't. And
Yeah,
I've heard that before myself.
yeah,
Um, but it turned out that she could.
she
She's an
could.
overcomer.
She could, and she did.
She did, right? I love it. And I'm like, I'm getting even the chills as I'm listening to what you're saying. No, I could, she could, because I could tell that there was that desire of fulfilling a dream and to overcome what was told that at the first place you could not do, but you knew that you could. And there's a lot of ladies out here that are going to be listening to you today, and they're actually dealing maybe with something very similar like you
Mhm.
where they've been told by teachers, by people, by other, even maybe relatives or, people around them that they're not going to be able to. What would you tell them, Victoria? Because you're an overcomer.
Don't listen. I know it's easy for me to say. I can see people on the other side of this going, "Oh, it's easy for you to say." But when I was about 9 years old, my grandfather put me up on a horse, and I'd never ridden a full-sized horse before, and it had no saddle on it. And he had no doubt in his mind that I could do this thing. And I remember looking down at him and saying, "Grandpa, do you think I could ride in the Olympics?" And he put his hand on my leg and he looked up at me and he said, "Vic, you can do anything you set your mind to." And he was the only one that ever said things like that to me. Everybody else was, "Oh, be careful. Oh, don't do that. Don't hurt yourself. Don't. And because of my visual impairment, everybody was trying to wrap me in bubble wrap. And he was the one that let me go, and like the butterfly in the cocoon, he let me break myself out. And did I get hurt? Yes, I did. But you know what? Every single thing was worth it.
It was. Look at you flying so high. And before this recording, you all, I have to share. She actually even shared with me, about the support that she has from her spouse. Could you share a little bit about that?
I'm sorry, what was that?
That you also shared about your life. You also shared that, your spouse has supported you and all these wonderful
Absolutely.
things that you're doing.
Absolutely. I made just choices. I make choices that involve, do I get a new car, or do I do the horse thing? And I have two adult children that I raised on my own. I've only been married for 10 years. Um, so I have two children who support me immensely. And I have a husband who allows me or permits me or supports me, or whatever language you want to use, to do what a lot of people think is craziness. And I love it. I love to be free to do all the things that I was never supposed to be allowed to do.
Well,
So
I don't see why not. I mean, you've been able to do all these things, and
mhm.
you've also told me that you have something at home. You have a barn, you have all these
Yeah.
wonderful things besides, an amazing family that you have, your children that you just shared, and
Mhm.
all the things that you could not, according to them, fulfill or do or accomplish. You've overly, gone the other side. as an overcomer. You also have that I told you I'm a little jealous about.
I currently own 9 horses.
9.
9. There are, oh yes. My daughter has 3, a friend has 1, and the rest are all mine. There are,
Wow.
there are 6 at the racetrack and the rest are at home.
The rest are at home. So
Yeah.
we are going to have all these people questioning, how did she do it? They told her she couldn't, but grandfather always believed in her. I believe he was your light. I believe in a way he was your source of continuing to believe and to hold on. And I that's how I see it. What would you tell ladies, women, people, children that are listening? Oh, they've told me I can't. I have this a problem. I have dyslexia. I have ADHD, which I've had a lot of people come and be
Mhm.
part of my podcast and share their stories and their challenges. What would
Mhm.
you tell them as well?
If it's all in the heart, it's when I look at the things that I have been blessed enough to have, they came to me. They found me. A friend of mine always says they find you. The ones that need you the most find you. And they have. And I keep them safe. And I say to people that want to talk about what, because horse racing is my passion. And I say, I give out my horses everything because I ask them for everything. I ask them to give me everything when I send them out on the racetrack, and they do because I give them everything. I give them the best of care, the best of feed, the best of everything, and then they return it.
Your
And that's
time,
how
your
I,
love.
yeah, because I care for them. I actually was in the newspaper a couple of years ago because I had a horse had a near fatal accident, and they said he would never run again, and I brought him home, and I loved him, and I cared for him, and I gave him all the medical care that I could give him, and the next year he won 2 races for me, and they put an article in the paper about how love can make things happen, and
I
and
believe that. I
it did.
believe it 100% because my animals, I love them just like you do.
So in the short answer to the question of how do I do what I do is they the horses make the money. I have an old horse at home that I teach riding lessons, and we do equine assisted learning and equine assisted life coaching, and he pays my bills. And I love him and care for him and share him as much as I possibly can with as many people who wish to meet. And that's my grandfather always was always of the opinion that just because I'm lucky enough to have horses doesn't mean I can charge an arm and a leg to to share them with people, that it's my responsibility to share what I have with people for a reasonable amount of money. I also have friends who keep telling me I need to charge more for my services, and it's like, no, I don't. If that makes
Wow.
sense.
Well, I would have loved to hear a little bit more about your grandfather, most definitely. You know, he definitely inspired you. He definitely brought so much to you. And
Yeah,
just listening to that, you know, what he gave you, his words of wisdom, Victoria, it's something for you to continue carrying on because that's your legacy. Your
yeah,
grandpa is your legacy.
yeah.
And wow, it's just amazing to hear that story, Victoria, that you have. And there's a lot of women that are going to resonate because they also have something that they're being challenged daily, some adversity that they've been facing, whether it's with vision, whether it's with their health, whether it's ADHD, whether it's dyslexia. We all have adversities, challenges that we face on our daily basis. But
Yeah.
if we face them in a very different positive note, and we fly and we try hard like that butterfly that I mentioned coming out of that dark place of the cocoon, what's going to really matter at the end of the day is that she never gave up. And that's what I think I'm going to take from your message, that you never gave up.
One of the things that my brother and I both, and we never actually heard him say the words, but we both came out of our childhood with the same message, is that if you always do the very best you can to succeed at whatever it is that you want, then you know that you gave it your best shot. And what anybody else thinks doesn't matter. If you know in your heart, if you can look in the mirror and you know that you did your best, it's when we do half baked and we look in the mirror and we're like, you know what? I probably could have done a little better on that one. That's us. But what anybody else thinks really doesn't matter.
No, it does not. I agree with you. I agree with you. And I'm like, I would have loved to have you like next door so I would go and visit and see your little animals that you have because I love animals. And yes, I think that it's a blessing and such an honor for you to have those little animals daily. And I think it's even therapeutical, right?
Oh, yes.
Therapeutic to be with them and to love on them and to hold them and when they're sick and they know that your heart is there for them. So I believe in that love and it's unconditional. They're going to be there for you no matter what. And I could
Yeah.
see you smiling, and that's what I'm taking from your message today. And to never give up,
No.
no matter how bad the road seems, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
That's what your granddaddy, I think, would want you to keep. It doesn't matter. Look where you're at right now. You fulfilled that dream that you had to overcome all the things that you did, the adversities, and to be close to those animals because he believed in you. So I think
Yeah.
that that was a little seed that he planted in your heart at a very young age.
Hmm. I was very blessed to have a lot of people look at my childhood, including myself for a lot of my life, and go, oh, that was tough. But when I look at what's important, um, that I can pull that, the three different things that I've shared with you, and there was more, that having him in my life was, I was so blessed. It's like, oh, your parents split up and they left you with your grandparents, and what a terrible thing, and da da da. And it's like, no, not really. No,
Not
I
not
was,
in your case. What would you tell people that don't have that support? Because it does make a big difference when you have that support system and when you don't have that support system, that you only have yourself. And if you're a believer, well, you know that you have a higher source that you can always go to. But what if they don't have or they don't even know? What would you advise them? You had your grandfather, but it seems like there was no one else. But as long as you had your granddaddy, you had it all.
in the moment, it didn't seem like that. That's when I can look back at this. I'm going to be 60 this week, and I look back on it. It's taken a lot of um, self-discovery, self-examination, and it's been a journey to get to the place where I can pull those gems out of my childhood and use them to my best advantage. But when I was in it, the negativity was so much more than what he and I could stand against. It was just like him and I against a bunch of tanks, like we were fighting a whole battle against my family and society and all the stuff. But what can I say to people who don't have that support, who can't find it in the darkness? When I was in my 20s and 30s trying to find my way out, it was, I would fall on my face emotionally, and I always managed to get up. I always managed to find either my inner strength that I have to, my children, I have to get up for my kids, I have to keep going for my kids. And sometimes it would just be someone else putting out a hand and helping me to get up, but I always wanted to get up. um, there were dark moments, actually, when I say that there were times when I didn't actually care, but I still did it. So, but that's a whole different story.
Yeah, well, I would say that even though you might think that there's no one there, that you should try to examine yourself and try to find the good out of even though bad moments. That's what I
Absolutely.
feel that I'm picking up on your message today. Always to try to find good people around you that they will actually support. Maybe you don't have that support with parents, or maybe you don't have it with a relative like you did with your grandpa, but maybe there's someone else, a friend. Try to get yourself. in a place where you're careful enough to find good people along your way that are positive, that care about you, that are going to be, they're going to bring words of encouragement.
Mhm.
That's what I'm taking today of your message. And yes.
One of the things that I do want, I feel like I would like to say is that there's times when we're so hurt or damaged that reaching out to someone else is really hard. And just, it's almost just reach down inside of yourself and dig deep and find that inner strength that, even it's like a metaphor, but you're laying on your face in the mud and you don't know how to get up, but you look down inside of yourself, and even just getting to your knees, that's progress. And then the next step is getting your feet under you. And because there was a lot of years where I was afraid of people because I'd been badly bullied as a child. And my family, other than my grandfather, had not been overly kind. So to be able to, just whether it's a meditation or a prayer or a whatever it takes to get inside of your own heart and give yourself a jump start to just get up and keep moving. And then you can look back on that and say, look at me. I did that thing. I got up. And then you've got some self esteem and some self confidence and some belief in yourself that you can carry, instead of the heavy load on the back. It's like you're carrying it in front of you going, look what I did. And that's huge for me.
It is. I think it's for everyone, that has gone through so much adversity. It makes perfect sense what you're sharing today. And I really am thankful that you actually decided to come and to share your own story, because I think that it's a wonderful thing to share your own story and where you're at right now, and all these wonderful, wonderful accomplishments that you've had throughout the years. So, congratulations on that, Victoria. And I know that there's a lot more coming your way. And thank you
Thank you.
for being here with me once again on another episode of A Legacy of Love. You have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thank you.